1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 371, Giants at Dodgers.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. We got a series in the wild and weird and wacky West between the Giants and the Dodgers. One of the most bizarre divisions in this entire league, where every team has embraced incredible and horrible, as every team has demonstrated both traits throughout the season. Let's just take a look at the standings. Let's get this out of the way right now, because here we are out west, and well, the Astros, I guess they're in first place because they've won 12 and lost 10, so they're sitting there. And the Giants are just a game over. And they're the surprising Padres, who were horrible, but they swept the Dodgers 4 straight in the last series to go to 9-11. And it was the Dodgers who were left for dead. As this division, you play great, you play like crap. The Astros started the season playing great, beating up on the Reds, beating up on the Mets. They got knocked around by the Giants and the Padres and other teams. And then, of course, Dodgers had a 6-13 start after getting swept by the Padres. And then the Dodgers are up in this series. It's just, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Can't explain it. Game 1 in San Francisco. Don Sutton opening up against Jim Barr. First inning, a single, a Willie Davis stolen base, a sac fly, inside baseball, then 2 more singles and an RBI single by Steve Yeager, the DH, 2-zip. Would that be enough for Sutton? Well, let's get to the 5th inning first. A single, another stolen base, another sac fly by Steve Garvey, same as in the first, so that's 3, and then a 2-run homer by Ferguson that makes it 5-zip. The Giants do make this thing interesting in the 7th, as Don Sutton is throwing a 1-hitter. A double, a single, and with 2 outs, Gary Matthews rolls homer 1 to 6 and hits it. Hits a 6 home run, makes it 5-3. But the Dodgers had a couple more runs on in the 8th inning. They win Game 1, 7-3 in Candlestick. Giants were in first place, playing basically good ball all year until now. Game number 2 here in San Francisco. Tommy John versus Ron Bryant, battle of lefties. And in the first, Dodgers strike with their speed. They have the speed. Giants don't have a decent defensive catcher. They've got Dick Dietz and Fran Haley, and that's going to hurt them against the Dodgers, who like to run. You get a Davis double, RBI single Cohen, a single stolen base by Davey Lopes, 2-run homer by Steve Garvey. That's 3 runs. Bottom of the 3rd, Bobby Bonds is a 2-run homer, 3-2. In the 5th, sac fly by Davey Lopes. This is Willie Davis has singled, stole a base, and scored on the sac fly at least 3 times. Twice in Game 1 and here. And then bottom of the 6th, you have an RBI single by Fuentes. A 2-run homer in the top of the 7th when the Giants pulled Bryant and went to Charlie Williams by Davey Lopes, batting 3rd, interestingly. Tried to put Lopes in the 3 spot, see what that would do, and it worked. He had a nice day, went 2 for 3 with a home run and stolen base. Dodgers win both games in Candlestick. The final is 6-3. And when we go to LA for a Game 3, it's going to be Juan Marichal trying to right the ship for the Giants against Andy Messersmith. Bottom of the 1st. If you keep hearing me say first inning Dodgers, you'd be correct. Even after Lopes and Willie Davis get out, Steve Garvey singles, Willie Crawford, 2-run homer, it's 2-zip. A Davis triple in the 3rd, RBI single by Joe Ferguson, 3-zip. They chip away at Messersmith for individual runs in the 4th and 6th inning. But in the bottom of the 8th, after a single and a stolen base, it is Bill Russell with a 2-run homer. 5-2 Dodger lead, which means it's Jim Brewer time. And Jim Brewer has not been touched this year. His ERA is 0.00. He only has 4 saves. Because, like I said, the Dodgers have been stinking up the joint this year to the tune of 6 wins. And now, right before the All-Star break, they get 3. 3 straight wins for the Giants. They're going for a sweep. Let's look at the standings again. Let's try and figure this out. So, I mean, as great as the Dodgers have just played, they still 9-13. Is there a path? Well, I guess there's a path. Of course there's a path. I mean, it's just the All-Star break, but I don't know. I mean, last time we saw the Padres, they won 4 straight. Last time we saw the Astros, they gave up 26 runs to the Indians in 2 games. Giants are getting knocked all around. The whole National League is a mess. I mentioned that in interleague play, there are 15 games under 500 because of the great play of the Expos who are moved to the American League. There's just not, well, the Braves, yeah. The Braves are really playing great baseball. It's probably their league, and it makes sense. Yeah, they're probably the only team here that's been consistently great all season long. So we'll see how that continues or not. But anyway, we got a game 4, and for your Giants, I can't cushion the blow here, but you got your number 4 starter, Bill Parsons, going, and Bill's okay. He was a Brewer in 1971, 13-17 with a 3.20 ERA in 245 innings. They traded for him in the offseason, wanting to get rid of Sam McDowell, and they sent him to the Brewers for this guy. And the Dodgers, yeah, they're bringing Don Sutton back on 3 days rest because they can smell a sweep. You smell that? It's a sweep. They got the brooms out, Don Sutton, Jim Brewer's available for a couple innings if needed. All you need is a run or 2, and that should pretty much do it. Don Sutton, of course, 19-9, 2.08 ERA, and having another all-star season. Giants, Dodgers, but unfortunately, this series has been all one-sided. Let's get started. From Chavez Ravine, leading off for the Giants, it is Bobby Bonds. 2.8 is a K. Tito Fuentes, 48, pops the third. Gary Matthews, 2.7 is single 1-9, gets it. B. Steeler. Oh, let's steal a base. Let's try and get the team excited. And he steals a base. Willie McCovey, 47 all of a sudden, is strikeout. Oh boy. Bottom of 1, it's Davey Lopes. 2.6, grounds to short. Willie Davis, 37, flies to right. And with 2 outs, Steve Garvey. 1.7 is a grounder to short, and maybe things will change. This is the first time the Dodgers have not got the early lead. Ed Goodson, leading off in the second, 48, pops the third. Chris Spire, 36 is a walk. Jim Howarth, 5'10", catcher's card. That's a 3E5 catcher. It's a ground ball C. Spire moves up to second with 2 outs for Dick Dietz. 38, Dick Dietz, single to right field. Here comes Spire. A 14 runner, 15-16 against the Rosario plus 1 arm, and he would score, and the Giants have a lead. 1-0. Rich Reese, 2.7, pops to second base. They have scored a run off of Sutton. Early, 1-0. Willie Crawford leads off. 58, center. Joe Ferguson, 1/8 a walk. Dodgers pretty much, gosh, they have to have the sweep, don't you think? I mean, they really got to thread the needle. They got to, like, win every series they're playing in the second half to have any shot. And probably not as a wild card either. Probably have to figure out how to win the division. But everything is an elimination game from here on out. Bill Buckner, 53, right X. This is Howarth. He is a 3-7 in right field, and that is a singled out dot. You got runners in the corners. You're going to bring it up, trying to protect that 1-0 lead, because every run is important when Sutton's out there. Jim Rosario, 1-4, center beat question mark for Ferguson. He will not run because Bobby Bonds has got a -4 arm in center field, which is why they traded Ken Henderson away. They had Bonds to play center. So no tagging up there on the fly to center because of Bonds, and Ferguson's only a 10 runner. And with 2 outs, It's Bill Russell. 2-7, doesn't matter. Bill Russell gets a single to right field. That'll score a run. Buckner, 14, 15, 16. No, he won't make the final out at third. With 2 outs, it's Ronsay. 67 is a K, but the Dodgers have tied the game at 1. We go to the top of the third. Bobby Bonds, 57's a K. Tito Fuentes, 2-6, grounds the first. And Matthews, 2-7, single 1-9, lines out on a 20. Bottom of the third. 1-1. Davey Lopes, 55, second C. Willie Davis, 3-4, third. And with 2 outs, Garvey, 2-8, is a single. Willie Crawford, 53, right X. In the right field, we have Howar, 3-7 again. And another single off his defense. Oh boy, Giants, and your outfield defense. You once had a slew of outfielders. you once had Willie Mays. You once had Ken Henderson. You once had Gary Maddox. You still have Gary Matthews. Not for much longer. I think he'll end up on the Braves soon. And Jack Clark's many years away. So, the Giants are going to start to suck very soon. And it could be now. It could very well be now. Sucking in the 70s. Where have I heard that before? Runners on the corners with 2 outs. And it's Joe Ferguson. 3-6 is a K. And as a matter of fact, is this where the Dodgers finally turn on that 1974 love light? Turn your love light on in 1974? Is that has been the problem? The first half of this season, it was the doldrums of 71, 2, and 3, and now Steve Garvey and the 74 kids, Buckner and Ronsay, they're finally getting them closer to the postseason. We'll see. Top of the fourth, Willie McCovey. 33, rolls the third. Ed Goodson, 39, flies to right, and Chris Fire. 42, flies to right field. Don Sutton always delivers with this card. I mean, there's a lot of superstar starting pitcher cards. You've got, Seaver, Carlton, Gibson, Palmer, Vita Blue, blah, blah, blah. A lot of those guys, every once in a while, get knocked around, but Don Sutton seems to avoid that since the 1972 card's been introduced into my league here. Bottom of the fourth, it's Bill Buckner. Speaking of 74 kids, it's 2-8, base hit for the Beast Stealer. 0 arm catcher going to take off. And this is close, and he's going to be out by a whisker. Thrown out by Dick Dietz, who has a 0 arm, which is an improvement. He's usually a plus arm catcher. And you have Jim Rosario, former Giant. 38's a walk. Bill Russell. 3-6, Bill Russell. Let's take a look at a card. I haven't seen one yet, I don't think. Bill Russell. 72, 272 hitter. Really would like to just play outfield. It's where he shines with his range and his arm, but they say, Bill, you just don't produce enough to be an outfielder. What do you say you play some shortstop? And he does today, and he's a 4-42. But in any event, at the plate, which is much better, it's 3-6, double 1 of 13, misses the double 1 of 13, it's a single. Runners are on the corners, 1 out because of the botched steal. They're going to bring it up for Ronsay. Can't afford any more runs against Sutton. 1-4, you just hit Ronsay with a pitch. Old Penguin liked to crowd the plate. Took one on the elbow there. And the bases are loaded for Davey Lopes. We're going to keep it up for the B-runner. Pitch to Davey Lopes. 2-4 with the infield up is a 5-2 force out at the plate. And the bases are still loaded with 2 outs for Willie Davis. 64 off of Parsons is a pop too short. The Dodgers get a single, a walk, a single, and walk, and do not score in the 4th inning. And that's kind of how their whole season has gone. Into the 5th. It's Jim Howarth. 47 is a K. Dick Dietz, 55. Yeah, it's a K. And Rich Reese, 2-3. Line is short. That was easy. 5 innings in the book for Sutton. They did get an RBI single off him with 2 outs. That's been the only damage. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay. Bottom of the 5th. It'll be Steve Garvey. 2-2 rolls the 3rd. Willie Crawford, 410. Off of the Parsons card. 410 is homer, 1-19. And it's gone. And finally, the arrow swings back to the Dodgers. 2-1. Joe Ferguson, 37's a K. Up with 2 outs. Bill Buckner, 33. Pops to first. Ken Sutton preserve a 2-1 lead. Into the 6th we go. It is Bobby Bonds. 69, single on a 1. Line out to second. And, yeah. Well, you know, Giants, if you can hit the triple 1, fly out, or single 1, line out, or double 1 to 2, fly out, or single 1 to 6, line out off of Sutton's card, you could beat him up pretty bad. But nobody can, and no one probably will. Tito Fuentes, 49, pops to second. Gary Matthews, 1-9, rolls to short, and that is 13 in a row by Sutton. 2-1, bottom of the 6th. It's Jim Rosario. Walked last time and got stranded. 58, center. Bill Russell with a big hit an inning ago. 65, lines the first. Didn't score anybody on that hit. And Ron Stay, 55, bounces the second. How about a nice job, nice little round for Bill Parsons keeping this thing together. He's put a bunch of guys on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 men on base. Only 2 have scored. Typical Dodgers. A 2-1 game into the top of the 7th. And we have Willie McCovey. Before he swings, let's take a look at Willie McCovey's card. 1973. Still had it, folks. 29 bombs. 105 walks. Hit 266. Has injuries, though. But, fortunately, in our league, he can DH. And he is. And that should keep him in the lineup and healthier much longer. The pitch to Willie McCovey. 3-9 is a walk. Anything about doing a little pinch running here late in this game? I mean, you got to manufacture something off of Sutton here. Bobby Heiss will come into play. Third base. Goodson goes to DH. Heiss is a 14 runner. He can't steal, but yeah, they got a pinch runner in there for him. Ed Goodson, 1-7 is a 3-6-3 double play, and there goes that pinch runner. Funny part about it is, if he was a B or A stealer, that would have been a single through the hole, but they don't have any speed on their bench, or didn't have any speed on their bench. They had the guy we have, Heiss, as an E, Fran Healy as an E, and Jay Alou as an E on the bench. That's pretty much a slow bench. 2 outs for crispier, crunchier, Crispier. 37. And that is a strikeout. Stretch time in LA. We, of course, are enjoying anytime we play in LA. We like to play some Doing the Dan here. A little bit out of the timeline, I understand, but I really had the urge for a royal scam tonight. Let's fire up some Owsley's Purple Dome. Here we go. Is there gas in the car? We're going to find out if there is gas in the car or not. And the test tubes and scale are safely secured. Into the bottom of the 7th we go. It's a 2-1 game for the Dodgers. Can they pad some and help Sutton out? They often abandon Sutton in his brilliant starts. How far do you go with Bill Parsons? He's only given up 2 runs but pitched well. Shaky Giant bullpen, we'll find out. Davey Lopes. 4-10 immediately. Homer, 1-6 double. It is a double, and just like that, that's it for Parsons. Oh boy, that could have been a 3-1 game, and it stayed in the park. And with the lefties, Davis, Crawford, and Buckner expected up this inning, I think they're going Steve Hamilton. Yeah, they're going right to the back end of the Giant pen for Steve Hamilton. With these lefties coming up, he is a nightmare. Can't touch him at all. He was a giant in 71 with an ERA of 3 in 45 innings with this card. Alright, Lopes is at second. Willie Davis is a B-bunter. I don't like the bunt. So he will swing away against Steve Hamilton. The pitch to Willie Davis. 1-8 is a pop to short. Now you got Steve Garvey, your 1974 National League MVP. 63, pitcher X, Hamilton is an E0. You can still roll up for the home team. And I get the single off the fielding rating 2 of an E0 pitcher on the road. That's a cheap single, folks, but it counts. Now you got runners in the corners. You got to bring it up for Crawford now. You could really be clever. They are going to pinch hit for Crawford here. And the guy they're going to do it with is Billy Cohen, off-season free agent. Was an Angel in 71 at 276. Did it all against left-handed pitching. He'll go to DH. Jim Rosario, Bill Russell will go in the outfield. And after Cohen bats, they'll put Jack Heidemann at short. So with runners on the corners, they're going to bring it up for Billy Cohen. And Larry Carlton's going to go into a guitar solo right here. There it is. 6-12, pitcher B. Gun down at the plate. Runners on the corners with the infield up. Guy gets gunned down at the plate. So it's now first and second with 2 outs and Joe Ferguson. 5-10, catcher's card. You get a cheap run here off the 3-16 catcher. All you need is a pass ball and you got it. So you get a pass ball foul out. One of those cheap Strat-O-Matic bizarre rules they have. Pass ball and foul out in the same combination, which is not realistic, but that's the way it's always been in Strat. And that will score a run from third. Actually, you know what, folks? It won't. That's right. It won't score. There was nobody at third base. He got gunned down at the plate and was runners at first and second. Oh, the Dodgers messed this whole thing up. You had a double, you had a single, you had runners on the corners with 1 out, brought the infield up, got a guy gunned down at the plate, making it now first and second. PB foul out. PB puts the guy at third, doesn't score. I tell you, Dodgers, you really make this miserable for Sutton. He should request a trade. Don Sutton should ask to be traded to the Cincinnati Reds. Oh my God. We can't have that, folks. We can't have the Cincinnati Reds acquire an uber ace in this timeline and during the time of the Big Red Machine. You know, Jack Billingham's fine, but you can't give him anybody better than that. That doesn't, it's not going to work. All right, Jack Hyman will play short. Russell's in right. Rosario is in left now. Crawford's out of the game. Buckner's still at DH. We go to the 8th inning. All the Dodger defense is in there. And Don Sutton will continue into the 8th inning with a 2-1 lead and face the number 7 hitter, Jim Howarth. 3-12. And let's take a look at this guy. Jim Howarth. Whoever you are, you have a bizarre looking card. So, if you follow these templates, this card makes no sense whatsoever. It's I guess the 3-5 template, but somehow, for some reason, he doesn't have power, but they just gave him a home run on 12 just to mess up with Don Sutton. 1972 Jim Howarth, 235 batting average, 119 at-bats. He had 1 home run. And ladies and gentlemen, no time's a better time against Don Sutton in the 8th inning of a potential sweep to tie the game at 2. My goodness. Well, you're getting a heck of a game, folks, out of 2 scuffling teams this year. Game 4 has lived up to the hype here as the Giants have tied things up. Now you got Dick Dietz. 69, single to 1, can't get it. Rich Reese, 210, pitcher. And with 2 outs, Bobby Bonds, 2-9, rolls to short. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Steve Hamilton will continue. She's got Bill Buckner. Buckner hits lefties fine. He's all swing away. 47's a K. You bring a righty in there, it's a double, but he didn't do it. Jim Rosario. 1-3's a walk for the B Steeler. Bill Russell. 59, second C. Runner in scoring position for 2 outs for the Penguin, Ron Say. Let's take a look at his card. Ron Say, 74, full season. Second season, I believe. I think he was there in 73, had a so-so year. 262, 18 home runs, 76 walks. Would be in the World Series. Big moment here with the lead run at second and 2 outs. The pitch, Ron Say. 2-8 is ball 4. 2 on, 2 outs, and a Stevie Lopes. May as well take a look at him. 73 Lopes. This is the reason why they kicked Ted Sizemore to the Cardinals. Had to make room for Lopes. Had to get rid of Wes Parker, make room for Garvey. Got rid of Tom Haller. Had to make room for Ferguson and Yeager. And got rid of Billy Grabarkowitz. Had to make room for Ron Say. This is how the Dodgers were built. So there's 2 on and 2 outs. And the pitch to Davey Lopes. 56 is a fly ball left. We'll go to the 9th. Sutton can go 10. He's a starter 9. My 9s can go 10. A 2-out bloop single and a bizarre Jim Howarth homer is the only damage. Tito Fuentes. 59 flies left. Gary Matthews. 55 is a K. And Bobby Heiss, the pinch runner for Willie McCovey. 47, that is a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Let's take a look at Hamilton here. He's a relief 2, but I'll let him pitch to Willie Davis. Then after that, it's nothing but righties until we get to Buckner again. So Willie Davis against Steve Hamilton. 65 is a strikeout. And I think that'll do it for Hamilton, as he's gone 2 1/3, and it could be a long series, and he is their closer. So I don't want to burn him out, even though it's technically an elimination game. But he did his job, which is get 2 of the 3 lefties out of the lineup, and that's what he did. So now it'll be Charlie Williams in the 9th. He's very good. Particularly, he's good against righties, and the Dodgers have now a ton of them in their lineup. Charlie Williams in 74, 1-3, 2.79 ERA in 100 innings. And he will come into the 9th to face Steve Garvey. You get him out, then you have Heidemann. So this is the guy right here, Steve Garvey. 49 flies to center, and with 2 outs, it's shortstop Jack Heidemann. And 1-7 is a strikeout. And the Dodgers go flat again. 9 innings in the books, and the Dodgers are scratching their heads. They were sure they had this game won, and no. We'll go to the 10th, and Don Sutton, there he goes, folks. He's going back out. The fans give him applause. We don't get a lot of 10-inning starters, but we get one out of Don Sutton, going out for a 10th as a starter 9. It will be Ed Goodson, Chris Spire, and his nemesis, Jim Howarth, his newfound nemesis. Pitch to Ed Goodson. 63 is a strikeout. Chris Spire. 49 pops to first, and with 2 outs, here he is, folks. He needs a 3-12. The pitch to Jim Howarth, looking for homer number 2. 46 is a liner to second base, and the fans are going wild here in Dodger Stadium. They know what Sutton's done. Been the top right-handed starter in the league for the last X many years. Now we know Marichal won some Cy Young awards when I had the 69 and 70 cards in the league, but once we got rid of the Marichal 69 card, then Sutton assumed the top right-handed starter of the National League. Charlie Williams will continue into the bottom of the 10th, and he will face Joe Ferguson. 2-2, misses a homer by 1 column and rolls to third. Here is Bill Buckner. 56 is a second X, but you got Fuentes, talented second baseman, a 2-6 And it's a cheap single off a 2 second baseman. Tough break Giants there. Buckner B. Steeler. I think you're going to try and steal a base. You're going to try a steal here. And he's safe on a 10, just by a whisker. Buckner steals second base. He's there with 1 out. And you got Jim Rosario. Let's take a look at him since we're getting near the end of the game anyway. Former Giant in 71. Gee, where's Howarth? It's funny, he resembles Jim Howarth a lot. A couple Giant outfielders I've never heard of. But Jim Rosario was a Giant in 71. 192 at-bats. He hit .224. And here he is with a winning run at second base. The pitch to Jim Rosario. 45 off Williams, skies the center. And with 2 outs, it's Bill Russell. He is 2 for 4 today. The pitch to Russell. 410 is center X, but you have a 1-2. Virtually impossible to get on base on a 1-2. And he skies out. More extra baseball. Sutton is disgusted and he goes to take a shower. He'll watch the rest on closed circuit TV. His day is done. 10 strong innings, and now I think you gotta let Brewer go 2. Yep, they're gonna let Brewer go 2. They want the sweep, so Brewer's gonna come in for 2. It was a clinching game. We knew it was gonna come down to Sutton and Brewer. Here's Brewer. Brewer in 72. 8-7 with a 1.27 ERA at 78 innings. What I find difficult is how do you get 7 losses with a 1.27 ERA, but somehow that happened to him on the Dodgers in 72. In the top of the 11th inning, the dangerous Dick Dietz will lead off. 48 is a strikeout. Rich Reese, let's see, oh, he has to play first base, doesn't he? Oh, we can have Goodson play third base. Yeah, Reese has got to come out, doesn't have a hit on his card. It'll be Fran Healy. No, it'll be J.L. Lew. Let's get J.L. Lew in there as the new DH. J.L. Lew will pinch hit for Rich Reese. 2-5, bounces to short. And with 2 outs, back up top to Bobby Bonds. Very quiet, 0 for 4. His 5th at-bat comes in the 11th inning. 111 is a fly ball to right field. 2-2, bottom of the 11th, Charlie Williams, 3rd inning of relief. It'll be Ron Say. 57's a strikeout. Back up top to Davey Lopes. 56 is second X. Again, the great defense of a 2-6 second baseman makes the play. And with 2 outs, Willie Davis. 1-5 rolls to second base. So that's 2 2/3 for Charlie Williams. And we'll go to the 12th. The only guys left on the bench, you have Fran Healy and Steve Yeager, backup catchers. Top of the 12th, Fuentes. 34, Bramble to third. Gary Matthews, 68, pops to first. And with 2 outs, it's Bobby Heiss. 2-4, pops to second, and, well, 6 up and down for Brewer, and what are you going to do? Sutton's gone 10, Brewer's gone 2, and you still haven't won the game yet. Charlie Williams is gone as well. All right, so we have our choice between Don Carruthers and Mike Caldwell. I think we're going to go with a better pitcher for the Giants, and that is Mike Caldwell. Where do you see this guy, folks? And while that rally ends, let's bring the volume down just a little bit here. All right. Mike Caldwell will come in the bottom of the 12th inning. Caldwell, 14-5 with a 2.95 ERA in 1974 and 189 innings. There was simply no room in the starting rotation because of Marichal and Ron Bryant and Jim Barr. And Parsons could not relieve. He was a starter. But they got Caldwell in the draft to take over for Sam McDowell's role on the Giants squad. No bigger moment for the rookie here than trying to avoid the sweep in the bottom of the 12th inning. Down 0-3 in the series, Mike Caldwell, he only has to deal with Steve Garvey. Leading off in the bottom of the 12th, the pitch to Steve Garvey. 42, bouncer back to the mound. Now it's Jack Heidemann. 64 is a strikeout, and with 2 outs, it's Joe Ferguson. 69 skies the center field. And the Giants have figured out how to outlast Sutton and Brewer. And it should get easier from here on out. The Dodgers, they have their choice of Pete Mickelson, Joe Moeller, and Gary Wasilewski. Only Fran Healy's on the bench. You have 2 lefties coming up in the early part of this inning. I think let's not put Wasilewski through that. Let's put... Oh, gosh. Yeah, once you get Brewer out of there, man, this Dodger bullpen's not a whole lot. Let's go Joe Moeller. He's a relief 4. He is 2-4 and 71 with a 3.82 ERA in 66 innings. Joe Moeller will come on in the 13th, and I'll have to deal with Ed Goodson, who moved to first base in this game. Ed Goodson, the pitch. 42, skies the center. Chris Beyer. 2-2, rolls to third. And we need another Jim Howarth homer on 312. Here it is. 2-8, nope. Grounds to first. Well, some shabby offensive work today by the Giants and Dodgers. Bottom of the 13th. Buckner, Rosario, Russell. Here's Bill Buckner against Caldwell. 2-11 pops to first. Jim Rosario, 58, flies to left. And with 2 outs, it's Bill Russell. 2-8 rolls to short. Oh my goodness, folks. We go to the 14th inning. Moeller continues. It's Dick Dietz. 2-6 is a K. J.L. Liu in the 9 spot. Yeah, he'll swing away here. 54, fly to right B, and with 2 outs, it's Bobby Bonds, who's 0 for something. 0 for 5. 49 flies to left, 0 for 6 out of Bobby Bonds. Just when we needed you most, Bobby, you come up empty, and another shutout inning. 14 in the books, or the top of the 14th. We go to the bottom half of the 14th inning. Mike Caldwell, starter 7, relief 3, but I think I might let him go a 4th inning if we get that far. This is his 3rd inning, and in his 3rd inning of relief, his breaking inning, he will face the Penguin Ron Cey. 47 is a walk for the Steeler 12 base runner. Back up top to Davey Lopes. 34, center B question mark. Willie Davis. 411, right X. Oh boy, that's Howarth, 3-7. He's going to have a couple singles today. And it's a double this time, from hero to GOAT. It's a double, and Ron Cey's at 3rd. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, and you only have Steve Garvey and Jack Heidemann. You got to walk Garvey here. Bring the infield up for Heidemann, and then you have, but you have Ferguson. If there was 2 outs, I'd walk Garvey. Well, yeah. Yeah, you walk a guy, then anything, and win the game with the bases loaded. Plus, Heidemann, you need a double play because Ferguson is behind Heidemann, and he's got walks all over his card for a game-ending walking in the run. So they're just going to bring the infield up, and they're going to pitch to Garvey. 2-6, and that, of course, was not the right thing to do whatsoever. Let's take a look at Garvey's card. 2-6 for your 1974 MVP. I think it's destiny, folks. It's supposed to happen this way. I'm done figuring out the National League West. I don't know how to manage any of these 4 clubs. Now the Dodgers are the hot team. Steve Garvey walks the ball game off and the sweep with a double. Don Sutton does not get a wins. Either does Jim Brewer. That honor goes to Joe Moeller in the 14th inning. And Mike Caldwell only gets 1 out in that inning. And that is your ball game. It is a 3-2 final in 14 innings. Oh my God, 13 1/3 for the Giants. Oh, we'll do the box. Look at the numbers. God, I'm glad this series is over, though. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen in the West. We're going to have to pause this for a moment as I score this. Because when we have extra inning games, as you see, we go through 9 innings, extras, and then we turn back around. So it's going to take me a few minutes to highlight each region for each relief pitcher. So we're going to take a break, and I'll be right back with the box score. Well, baseball fans, here is the box score from that game you just saw. Extra inning affair. Final score, 3-2, Dodgers in 14 innings. Some rather upsetting numbers here. Your San Francisco Giants, folks, managed to play a game where they had 3 hits and 44 at-bats. 3 for 44. You had the Jim Howarth homer on 312 on a dice roll that probably shouldn't be there. You had an RBI single here by Dietz and a single on stolen base by Matthews and nothing else. Don Sutton, another no decision. 10 innings, 3 hits and 2 walks. And then nothing else. Not just Jim Brewer, but Joe Moeller didn't put a guy on base. My goodness. Disturbing result from the San Francisco Giants. And they deserve to be swept, folks. They're the latest team from the West to play like doo-doo. Doo-doo, I say, the National League West. Let's take a look at the overall standings right now. It is pretty, you know, so the Astros are really playing bad. They just played Cleveland and gave up 30 runs in 2 games. Giants just lost 4 in a row. The Padres have won 4 in a row. They beat the Dodgers. And the Dodgers just won 4 in a row. They beat the Giants. Yeah. And looking at teams over 500, the Astros are still +2. You got this crappy expansion division, those guys there. Here is where the National League is, and really it is the Atlanta Braves' year. It is their year right now. They are playing the best baseball, have played the best baseball year-round, offense and defense, and hitting, of course, for the Braves. They put it together. They have been swept 3 straight by the Dodgers, who, again, they swept the Giants 4 straight, so they're 7-0 against the Braves and Giants, and they're 3-13 against everybody else. Figure that one out. You really got to look at your wild cards and all that sort of stuff, and you know, you can't count the Mets out anymore, 10-12. You certainly can't count out the Reds and the Pirates, 11-11. And these Cardinals, boy, they are on the precipice, aren't they? But boy, they are hanging on for dear life, trying to do the unthinkable, which is win a division that would take 2 World Series teams out of the picture. That's a lot to put on the shoulders of Joe Torre, Reggie Smith, Ted Simmons, and Bob Gibson, the Cardinals. But this National League, I got no idea what's going to happen. This is going to be a wild finish in the postseason tournament in the playoffs. My goodness, National League, what are you doing? It would seem to set up the Braves to let's see what this team's ridiculous offense looks like in a postseason in the playoffs. See if it can hold up. And are the Dodgers really dead? We had them. We buried them last series against the Padres. I mean, they had the tombstone up and everything, and now they're crawling out of the grave. They're still 3 games under 500. They're still behind all these guys. They're behind all these guys. They have the same record as the Cubs, for Pete's sakes. Still behind the Mets by half game. So it's not as if the Dodgers suddenly have things looking rosy for them. They still have a long road to go in the National League. But break them up right now. Your LA Dodgers, the zombie Dodgers, have come back from the dead and swept the Giants 4 straight. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.